Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Port Side. The Port Side is a series of videos that depict my co-angling experiences that we're using to hopefully help everybody become better co-anglers. This week we're recapping the Oneida Lake Bassmaster Northern Open number 2 tournament that occurred last week. I just returned home a little while ago. I spent all week up there on the St. Lawrence, and then I fished a tournament on Oneida. The St. Lawrence is an awesome body of water, and I also had my family with me, and the rules for official practice for the Opens are that you cannot compete with, you can't practice with a non-competitor. Well, my family is not competing in it, so we fished Thousand Islands all week, and rightfully so. I fished a BFL the Saturday after from my boat. Actually did pretty well, but anyhow, let's talk about the Northern Open. So day one, I am pumped because I get to draw one of the pros, the one and only Mr. Bradley Hallman. And he's a stand-up guy, a very class act. And it was, in a way, it was bittersweet because we're there and we want to compete. But a lot of times, guys, when you are a co-angler, your prize or your that day or any given day is sitting back and learning and absorbing and educating yourself on what the guy in the front of the boat is doing. And that's exactly what I did with Brad. As much as I wanted to compete, and it's not that I didn't try, I absolutely tried, but Brad's in a position where, you know, he's trying to accomplish something through the qualifications with the Elite Series. I wasn't going to be the one to hamper that in any form or fashion. And I was also, like I said, I was just observing, and he's a pro for a reason, I'll tell you that right now. Not only does he have a very good personality and just a good, genuine dude, but he's talented also. Anyhow, behind Brad, I only caught 2 small fish behind Brad. I caught them both on a drop shot. He was keying in on something pretty specific, and it was difficult for me to identify what he was doing from the back. Now, towards the end of the day, he did try to help me out and try to help me get the 3rd fish, and I really did appreciate that. It just didn't work out. I was casting in a spot where he would tell me, and I would catch a non-target species of some sort. I must have caught a handful of bluegills, some of the biggest shell crackers you'd see, and perch, and I didn't catch any drum that day. I think I caught 1 pickerel. Just a lot of non-target species, right? And so I only ended up the day with 2 fish, and unfortunately one of them died. I had like 310 with my penalty, and that was good enough for like 125th place. Like I said, you know, when you get a draw like Brad, you want to compete. You definitely want to compete, but at the same time, I'm looking to learn. That's the whole reason why I signed up for this, is I'm trying to figure out the mental side of the game. I think I have the tools, the ability to catch fish. It's just the mental side of the game, and watching actually Brad go through his day and the decisions he made was huge for me. So that was interesting. Brad ended up the day with 17 pounds or so, and he was sitting in the top 30, I believe. So I was happy for him, and he had a good day. So day 2, I drew another gentleman, and he told me we're going to be fishing for both smallmouth and largemouth. And so I prepared the way I felt like I should. I had 3 smallmouth rods and 3 largemouth rods, and we went to work. And I took a little bit of what I learned the day before with Brad and applied it to the smallmouth, and I caught one right away, a good solid 3.5 is what it ended up weighing. And I put it in the boat, and then I proceeded to jump off every other fish on that smallmouth spot. I probably lost 8 to 9 pounds of smallmouth in the first hour, and I should have had a limit in that, you know, in the 8 to 9 pound range. I don't know what to say. I don't know what happened. The one I think I do, but I'm not certain. I can't tell you. It was almost like they were hitting, and as soon as you set the hook, the fish came straight to the top. And each one, when they jumped, they just threw the bait. And the one was on a drop shot, and I don't understand. The drop shot's usually a 95% land ratio, and that was a big one too. It was like a big one, like 4, pushing a 4. And needless to say, I was a little frustrated, right? And that would have allowed me to have a really decent comeback and salvage the points. It just didn't work out. It just wasn't my day. I can't explain it. Sometimes you just have these days, right? But anyhow, after about an hour and a half of fishing for smallmouth, he decided he wanted to go fish for largemouth, and that's fine. You know, we did what we did. I caught fish. I just didn't catch any keeper-sized fish, and I didn't catch any. I caught a lot of non-target species, which was fun too in a way. But and he showed me a few techniques, a few patterns that I wasn't expecting, and until you see it with your own 2 eyes, you don't even think about it, to be honest with you guys. So it's amazing how shallow these fish will get, and it's amazing how aggressive they can be. Later that day, I was throwing a swim jig in inches of water, and this fish freight trained it, a good solid 2.5 pound largemouth, and I set the hook, and I was using a good 7'3" casting rod, and I set the hook, and my drag slipped a little bit, so I had to get penetration, and for whatever reason that fish just came unbuttoned like immediately, and I don't know what it is, but that one split second just was a rough day, or a rough moment. So that was my 4th keeper bite that day, and I lost 3 of them at that point with minutes left in the day. At the end of the day, I only weighed in that one, and it was a 3 pound, 5 ounce smallmouth, good solid representative. Like I said, I should have had probably close to 9 pounds, which would have put me right back up there much higher in the points race. Unfortunately, I fell, and I think I finished in the 140s someplace, triple digit. I don't even like talking about it. I'm disgusted and frustrated all at the same time. It has not been a good year for me in the back of the boat so far. With that said, all things considered, it's not entirely my fault, and some of it is my fault, but it's a thin line between having a good year and a bad year. If you look at Ross Barnett, I was 1 bite out of the money, and I had that bite on, and just that post-spawn largemouth bite was weird. You heard a lot of guys complaining, and I'm not using this as an excuse because this is just part of the game, right? But I had fish on that I should have landed, and I should have finished really high in the points, and I didn't, mainly because of lack of focus, I believe. I just wasn't able to pay attention well enough down there, and I missed some opportunities. Same with Oneida. I missed some opportunities that day too, and that would have helped me out tremendously. All in all, guys, it was a fun year, and I know we look at it has been a fun year. I know we look at results, and then we use that as a measuring stick, but on the co-angling side, that doesn't really apply. Like I said, sometimes we look at we can't use the results to gauge our season. we have to look at our experiences and what we learned and take it on to the next one. So it hasn't been a good year statistic wise, but guys, I've had a ton of good experiences, and I just don't, I'm not measuring this year by that. And you know how this game is. It's like tomorrow's another day. I could literally go to the Chesapeake Bay, which is in 2 months, and just, I could win. I could absolutely win, especially on that body of water, but you just don't know. Anyhow, guys, stay tuned. I'm going to do a mid-season recap and elaborate a little bit more on some of the stuff I just touched on, and I don't know, see what the rest of the season brings. I'm still sitting in 9th in points, but I'm like 300 points out of the win. So what I do, I might have to make a business decision here and see what happens. But anyhow, guys, until next time, get out there and just practice, do your thing, and if you have any canoeing experience, let me know about it. Maybe I could learn from you. So until next time, guys, take it easy. See ya.